Hey guys, welcome to Podcast Fandom Premium. I'm your host, Nina.
I'm Donald.
And I'm Kaylee.
And we are not back. We've never done a podcast together, have we?
Nope.
So we're not back. We are together for the first time on the podcast to talk about Black Summer. I made Kaylee watch the first episode, and I was like, you should just watch the first episode and then decide if you want to talk about it with us. And then she did. And then she watched the second episode by herself. Mm-hmm. And
wait, I had a choice in this?
No.
It really, because
no.
I really didn't feel like I did.
I mean, that was intentional. So, but Daddy has seen, oh God, no, I'm not calling you Daddy on this podcast. I'm just not. I'm not. Donnie, Kaylee. Donnie has seen. He has seen all the episodes.
He has?
In the first season.
Oh, you haven't seen the second season?
No.
Oh, okay. So he's only seen these episodes. Yes. So he is, we are the he is the spoiled, we are the unspoiled. Each season is only 8 episodes though. And I swear I feel like these episodes go by really fast. First of all, they're not an hour.
No, they're 30, like I'm on the second one now.
35 minutes or something, like 39. Yeah. So they're really short. But I like it because it feels like there's like no wasted, like every scene is something.
Right.
There doesn't seem to be like a lot of downtime. And
the shit pops off with the sirens going on.
Yeah, listen, the whole time I watched the first episode, my stomach was just in knots. I was so stressed out. It took me like 2 hours to watch that episode because I kept pausing it. Jack would come in here and be like, "You're still paused on this screen." But yeah, I was so stressed out. Okay, so Kaylee, overall thoughts. What did you think of these 2 episodes?
Well, first of all, you didn't tell me anything about the show when I started watching it. So I didn't even know like it was like a zombie thing. I don't know what I was expecting. But I remember you were like, before we started watching the first episode, you used the word cute to describe how everyone has like their own like different point of view. I wouldn't use the word cute.
I did I?
Yes, you used the word cute.
I was high, I guess. I don't remember saying that. There's nothing
interesting.
There's nothing cute about this show.
Do you mean their point of view or their story? Like, I guess it would be, well...
No, yeah,
I guess it is their point of view.
I thought it was interesting. I thought it was, like... I thought it's something Kaylee would like. I thought she would like that style of storytelling. I don't remember saying cute, though.
Then I remember, like, in the middle of the first episode, I'm like, how is this cute? But I do enjoy it.
Yeah, it's cool how it overlaps. So you get to see, see the overlap in a couple of the stories.
Let's just dive into it.
Okay.
So... the synopsis for the first episode, first of all, the name of the first episode is Human Flow, which is gross. Because I think when you use the word flow, I think like menstrual flow, right?
Liquids in general.
Yeah, and the fact that it's like humans and like this whole episode, or both episodes, we watch them basically being shepherded somewhere. To the station, you know, it was just, I don't know.
Stadium.
Yeah. And that opening, you said with the,
sirens going on.
I've never heard that in my life. Like, I know that that's a thing, but have you ever been somewhere and heard...
because I growing up in the Midwest, I would hear tornado sirens all the time, and that's pretty close to those.
Yeah. No, I've never had. So yeah, it's just, and you know what's even more unsettling though is that you hear that, but nobody reacts to it really. Like nobody was like, and now if that happened, you would imagine people like freaking out. For them, it was just like an alarm clock going off. And they're like, okay, we gotta go.
For some, and then they would, like, it still blew my mind that you would see some people that were still just staying in their houses.
Were they staying, or had they just decided not to try to go, maybe? Or remember, some people, you had to show papers and stuff. So maybe they couldn't go.
Right.
You know what I mean? But so we start with Rose. And the first thing you notice is they're not even living in their house. Like, that's not... The family in the frame photo were Asian. So I was like, okay, this is weird. Why are these white people abandoning this house? And they run for the checkpoint. And they almost get in. The daughter gets in.
What were they doing in the house? I'm trying to remember.
They were sleeping, I think. Or just like there. So when you...
Because if they were... Because for some reason in my head, I keep thinking like this just popped off maybe a couple hours ago. But if they're in the house sleeping, then I would say this has been maybe a day or two since it's popped off.
No, I think it's even longer than that.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like this is... I think it's been longer than that. Whatever it is. But yeah, they were just like, what the hell was that? What's that?
Not me.
Is it me? Kaylee, what are you doing?
What? I don't hear anything.
There's a staticky sound.
Yeah, I hear it.
Is it coming from me?
I don't know.
If me and Mommy can hear it, it must be coming from you.
Did you start doing something different?
No.
Ours done now.
Wait, no, I still hear something.
Oh, I don't hear anything now.
Oh, okay. Good God. This is going to be such a pain in my ass to edit. Okay. But when they get to the checkpoint, like, the little girl makes it on the truck, but then they don't get on because men are terrible.
Just, like... Okay, and that like, okay, so now if you're telling me this is been longer than what I originally thought, then this is stupid on this guy's part, because I guess at this point these people should know what turns people, and for this guy to be injured, however,
and then to just like
was bitten,
yeah,
and he knows he's been bitten, like, hey, I don't have long, but you're still gonna try to harm other people because of that. It just, I don't like that now.
Wait. Who? The dad or the soldier?
Yes, the dad.
Yeah, like, I don't understand why. Okay, yeah, you're right. They were, whatever was wrong with him, okay, no. I don't think his wound was fatal. Mm-hmm. Right?
I was just gonna say that it seems like it's like a thing where you die, you just turn. They don't really know exactly
but he
why
died.
Or how.
So
yeah, but like I'm sure he didn't think he was gonna die at the time.
Right. And I thought, like, when, I don't know if it was that thing with the guy or whatever, or
running afterwards.
Yeah, like, I don't know, but like when she went in the other room and it said thud. It's like, I thought somebody, like, maybe attacked him or something, but I think it was just him dying, I guess, and falling over. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the thing. I don't think, like, nobody wants to admit that they're going to die. I don't know if he thought, well, I'll just get somewhere and get medical. I don't know. I don't know enough of the...
Right.
Yeah. But I just think it was stupid of him, because what started it was the soldier, like, I guess kind of roughly, you know, turning the girl so that he could look into her eyes. And the father was like, hey, take it easy or something like that. And then the other guy, the soldier, of course, is now challenged, you know? So he's like, oh, is there a problem? So he says, do you have any weapons on you? And they say no. And he goes, why? Like, what?
Like, survival. Survival of this, I hear.
I don't know. It just felt very just male ego bullshit. But yeah, he was hurt, and it takes off with the daughter. I really thought the woman was going to get shot, because they had just said in the background, do not
Don't chase after the truck.
And if you chase after the truck, it will. We have, we're within our rights to shoot you. So when she kept running, I was like, lady, they're gonna shoot you. You better stop. But they end up. So what were the bombings? What was that? Like, they ran into a house and they got down on the floor, and you hear like jets over.
I didn't think it was bombing. So in my head, unless they showed us bombings, but I thought it was plane crashes.
What?
That's what I thought.
What did you think it was, Kaylee?
I thought it was bombing.
It sounded...
we never actually see it. That's
no,
the thing.
Right.
We don't. And you hear later when they're at the checkpoint, one of the soldiers is like, we're under attack. And I was like, by who? Like, what? Who's attacking you? Because I thought it was them, our military, like flying overhead and possibly bombing neighborhoods. Like,
then
when
that
they
makes
think...
it, then that kind of tells me that this is more isolated than global type of thing then.
At this point, yeah.
Right.
So tell Kaylee what this show is, because I don't think she knows.
So there's a show called Z Nation that I believe it started out on Sci-Fi, or the whole thing was Sci-Fi, and Netflix might have picked it up and did like a season or something. But there's this big show called Z Nation, and this is basically a prequel to that.
Yeah. And I watched some of Z Nation. I think I pretty much watched I know a lot about it because even when I stopped watching it, we were still covering it on the site, so I would have to edit the reviews. And what I saw, I liked. It was very different. It was like a zombie show that wasn't,
Right, zombies ran. They acted different. You had babies that were zombies. Like,
oh my god!
Yeah,
there was a lot that went a lot overboard.
but not in like a bad way.
No, it was just different. You never see it in zombies.
But it wasn't like this. This is super. This almost feels like a documentary sometimes.
Yeah, and like you don't see. This is almost like the real enemy is the human, because like especially in episode 2, that's all, like you don't see zombies very much. You see how horrible humans are.
And the difference too with like just how not serious but how long this has been going on, or the fact that they walk so openly out in the street like that.
Right.
Yeah, like, I'm used to shows like this where it's like, okay, we got to stick to the, shadows.
You're in The Walking Dead, where you're like, this is the last group in Atlanta. Like, there's nobody else. Right? This is still, like, everybody's still trying to find those groups.
Yeah, So when he does turn, though, I told Kaylee this, like, when I watched this for the first time by myself, and she's in in the kitchen to get water, and he falls over, and she calls his name one time, Patrick, and he doesn't say shit. She grabs a knife. She never makes a sound after that. Not until she finds the old lady. So I was like, that's so good, because typically, like, if I call out to you and you don't answer, and it's a situation like this where I have cause to think something bad happened, I'm not going to keep calling your name. I'm just not while I'm trying to investigate. So I like that. But then she finds the old lady, and then she starts calling his name, and I'm like, he never answered you. That's not a good thing. Like, this old lady changes nothing, lady. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, and then he like chases her, and this whole thing with her hiding in the bathroom, I felt like that went on uncomfortably long. Mm-hmm. Like, I kept waiting for him to like either break in and her to die, or her to just finally crawl through the window, and she just like, it felt like she just resigned herself to eventually he's gonna break this door. But then he didn't. He went after the whole lady.
That was her plan all along.
And then when you hear the old lady start screaming, she laughed.
I thought for a second she was going to try to help.
No.
That's why she brought the old lady along. She's like, come meet this woman.
But then when she, like, I said this to Kaylee, I think it's interesting, like, they're definitely like smarter than the typical zombie, obviously stronger and faster, right? And
they felt more humanistic to me, like the when you had the guy and the girl couple, or I should say the one that just starts running around the neighborhood.
They're not like,
and they show from her point of view, and it's like she's banging on the door at one point, and then it's like she loses her breath, like she ran out of stamina.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so it's more just a human that's very hungry.
Yeah.
they're hangry.
They're not, they're definitely not like the decaying flesh of like the Walking Dead type zombies, you know? And I think that's what makes them like stronger, you know, like they feel like they can fight. But they don't do things like manipulate doorknobs. Did you notice that? So like,
yeah.
And that I first picked it up here when she runs out the house, she closes the door behind her. I was like, oh, smart. Because like on The Walking Dead, yeah, you're safe, right? Like that zombie.
Right.
He's not going to come through that door. But it was a glass door, and like he aggressively ran through it like he knew he would break it, right? And then the old lady came through it. Like, I was like, oh, they don't know how to open doors. But also they're really fast. And they turn fast. Because that old lady was like right behind him. It doesn't take much. So then we meet Ryan. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I wasn't sure if Ryan was supposed to be this white dude or the Korean woman. But later we find out that it is this dude. I don't remember what he was doing when we met him. Wasn't he
just walking down the street?
That's right. And I didn't realize that he was...
I'm going to ask you guys what happened to him, because I don't remember what the fuck happened to him.
We don't know.
Oh, okay. Because the next time you see the Korean lady, she's with that other guy.
Mm-hmm. They got separated.
They got separated because...
And now he's with the Rose.
Right.
The deaf guy.
Right. But yeah, the first time we see him, he's just like walking through the street. And
he comes across that car on fire.
Yes.
And we see it a bunch of times, but we still don't know how it got caught on fire.
And it was definitely... Oh, maybe that's the bombings. No?
Mm-hmm. I think bombings would do more damage.
Right? Yeah, not just blow up a car.
Just one car. And the ground around it is totally fine.
All right, whatever. So yeah, and then he runs into her name. We find out later is Sun, but I like because she's like she doesn't speak English, right?
And the subtitles don't tell you.
They don't tell you what she's saying. It just says speaking Korean, and I can tell you, thankfully, that she didn't say anything too, like difficult. She was saying, "Kaja, let's go." She was telling him, at one point, "Pari wa, run fast or come quickly, come fast." And then there was one when they ran to like get into one house, and it was a guy. He had this family hostage.
Yeah, he had them all hostage. Like you didn't see nothing. Get out.
I was like, "What the?"
They just backed the fuck up and left.
I was like hoping we get to see what that point of view, but we haven't.
Not yet, anyway, right? Like
at this point, the enemy is human.
I mean, it was a child, though. I don't. Oh, but when that happened, she was like, "Ani." She was saying no, and then they get separated. Let's talk about Barbara. So Barbara was working all of my nerves, as white women tend to do. But like,
yeah, she's the worst.
Like, I mean, I felt for her at one point because, like, okay, no, wait, let me stop. First of all, how you not know how to read a map, Barbara? You, at your big age, how do you not know?
She grew up in the age where that's all they had.
Right? A fucking compass and a flashlight. I think you should know how to read this map, Barbara. Right. But, yeah, so she's, like, lost or whatever. And, like, that fucking minivan looked like it was stacked full of supplies and shit. I was like, what the fuck, lady? You're asking to get robbed. And sure enough, this was so fucking creepy to me. And my stomach was in knots the whole time. And I was like, Barbara, you were talking to him way too fucking much, Barbara.
Right.
It's like it wasn't even like the car couldn't go. Like, you could have just driven 2 blocks and then looked at the map. Like, you know what I mean? And, like,
Right.
Oh, God. Kaylee, would you have let him in the car?
No. I already told you. Like, I was suspicious the moment he said, I got a family, and then he gestured to somewhere else, and we just never see the family.
Ever. And then when he's like, do you want me to drive? And I'm like, no, I want you to go get your fucking kids.
Like, that I didn't like. Why are you gonna let alone let a stranger? Okay, you're gonna let a stranger in and give him a lift, but why let him drive? Like, that I didn't like.
I must have paused this scene like 5 times. I was like, Barbara, if you open that fucking door.
Second, he just sits down and he's like, I don't know. He looked in the top thing for something.
He adjusted the fucking rear view.
Oh, mirror. And then he's like, get out. She's like, pardon me?
And then she tried to lecture him as white women. She was going to ask for a manager any second.
Get the fuck out.
You are a terrible person. It's like, no, really? Okay.
And he gets clocked.
Yes. And then she gets back in the car and just watches.
She gets back in the back seat for whatever reason.
Yes! I was like, girl, if you don't drive the fuck off.
But I like how she goes to the guy, when she's talking to the guy, she's like, this isn't even my car. Like, she stole it herself.
Yeah, you start to realize this is a dog-eat-dog world. But I was rooting for Barbara as a woman. So then we meet Lance, who was fighting.
I just told Kaylee came downstairs and asked Kaylee that how they introduced Lance. Like, you don't see Lance at first, and I just like, you finally see what happened to the girl that you see earlier in the episode, just laying in the street all fucked up. And I love this whole. And then
you kind of felt like she had it coming a little bit. Because he just seemed really stressed and he couldn't read that map. And again, I'm like, why are people having such hard times with maps?
I can understand, like, him, like, it probably because he looked younger. I can understand, okay, they probably don't know because everything was fucking digital. But Barbara, she's just fucking dumb.
Nah, Kaylee, you learn how to read a map tonight. You will not be embarrassing me out here in these zombie streets.
Where would you even find a paper map now? Like, I wonder if you could still get them at stores.
I think gas stations. And bookstores. Every car. I don't give a fuck.
So if the apocalypse ever pops off, that's the first thing everybody needs to go get is a map.
Donnie,
because that shit's going to disappear so fast.
Donnie, we had a big ass like Rand McNally road atlas in the car. Yeah.
Long time ago, yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, everybody's talking. I was telling Kaylee, I'm like, I'm pretty sure if you go, like, if you spread out a map, you can probably search for, like, you know, certain landmarks and stuff like that. But, you know, when you look at a map, they have certain symbols, right? The little legend tells you, she's like, oh, these are municipal buildings and these are national parks or whatever. Like, how the fuck can't you find the stadium? Like you didn't even
your city, like, I think,
right? Like, they didn't even give it a name, so it's just like, oh, y'all must just got the one, and nobody knew how to get to it. I was like, what the fuck? But anyway, homegirl gets hit by this fucking like, and I feel like it's like because they keep doing these flashbacks. Are we ever gonna see who hit her? Or does it not matter? Oh wait, no. That wasn't the car that chases them in the second episode, is it?
The truck?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a different car.
I
Okay.
felt it.
Okay.
They showed a glimpse of it, but I don't think it was that.
Because it stopped and then it drove away again.
Yeah.
But so we got enough time to look at it, but it wasn't the same car.
So, and then we see at one point that Ryan and Son, like, he comes up to her. He doesn't even seem to understand that the zombie, what this is. Like, he's like the girl in the episode of High Rise Invasion. He don't seem to yet understand what world this is yet. He's like, oh, it's like that, okay. Because he's like,
calling everybody, everybody's running. I don't know what the fuck.
I know, and he was like trying to act like this is the real world where you like help people and call ambulances. And Sun was like, man, if you don't come on, pariwa. So yeah, she becomes a zombie, and is she the one who turns No, Patrick just turns because he dies. Never mind. Okay. Spears. We meet Spears. This is funny because I watched this episode with Kaylee, and I had already seen it. So when I saw it and I figured Spears, I was like, oh, and you see the military guys, I'm like, oh, one of them must be Spears, because I didn't think it was a first name, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm watching this scene unfold, and I'm like, wow, this brother, and I'm assuming he's black because he's also like really dirty and bloody. So I'm like, is he like a darker skinned Latino, or is this like a black man? I couldn't tell. But like, I'm like, wow, they sure are giving him all the lines. Like he's the and then they cut to the soldier and they show his name, and I'm like, oh, so he gonna end up killing this black dude. And I was so wrong. I was like, because they sure are giving the black dude all the lines. Like, I'm liking him. I want to know where to cash at. But this bathroom scene when he kills him, that's too much.
Do you remember when he had to go to the bathroom, and so he went to the corner and he wanted to put his hands in the front? And he did that thing where he got on the floor. And we were like, huh.
And then you got down on the floor and tried to do it.
Yeah, because you were like, can you do that? And I was like, well, now I'm curious to know if I can do that. So I tried to do it, and I can't. He made it so easy.
He did. Do you remember, Donnie? His hands were tied behind his back.
Yes.
And he sat down and did that. Yeah. Kaylee tried. I know I can't do it. Kaylee tried to do it. Just sitting here. We paused the episode. She on the floor. I should have taken a video for the premium subscribers. God damn it. I'll think ahead next time, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, he kills him in the bathroom, and it was so fucking, like, everything about it was just so, yeah. All right, then we're at the checkpoint. So they get to the checkpoint. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. The Patrick, her husband is killed by Spears. Right? Yes.
Yeah, saves her.
Yeah. He saves her. And she hugs him. This made me uncomfortable.
She hugged him a very long time.
I was like, you can't, I know it's the Z-Pac, but this is still a white woman. Don't let her hug you like that, brother. It's how you go to jail. I was like, this man. I was like, do they know each other? Like, this threw me. But they make it to the checkpoint, and that's when they're done. They're like, we can't let any more people in. And like, it almost feels like, I hear Nico. It almost feels like this is like a video game in a way. Like, what checkpoint? It's like if you make it to like this, oh my God, Nico. If you make it to the next like subdivision or whatever, like you scavenge for like a new house, like I'm still unclear like how this works, but I loved that Sun got through, and I got scared because I thought they were going to shoot her, but they were like, fuck it, they don't pay us enough for this. So the people run through, but then they started going in different directions. I was so confused. But this is how Sun gets in Barbara's car. Mm-hmm. And it takes off.
When we see that Barbara was like past that point. We didn't know she was past that checkpoint.
That's true. That's right. Later we see she was like the little crackhead selling shit on the corner. She was like, she pulled up her sleeve. She was like, look, you want to, do you need a watch? You need a bracelet? You need a wristlet? I got it all. You got it all. $5. So yeah, but then she just like leaves Ryan, but then like Rose and is like, oh, you can come with us. And I was like, how is this world working? Like, 'cause they were like, okay. And I'm like, what? It's not weird to you? Like, what? Like, I don't know.
Wow.
It just feels like, I don't know. It almost feels like a game show. Like, I don't know.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Like, it was just so like, oh, okay, I guess you can come with us now. There was no like, oh, is that someone you love? Do you need to follow that car? It was just like, everybody seemed to understand that it was every man for himself. One person's name we didn't get, and I absolutely was like, where the fuck did Seth Rogen come from? Because he's in their group now. And I just call him Map Guy because it was him and his friend that were on the street when the girlfriend ate him. Right? We saw those are finally she got to eat somebody. Yeah. And he was like, help me, man. And he just ran off. And they were also like arguing over a map. Like, what the fuck, people? Yeah, so it's Spears, Rose, Ryan, and Map Guy. All right, so episode 2 is Drive. I didn't even do a fucking synopsis because I don't know what the fuck is going on. And like I said, my synopsis for episode 1 was, I have no idea what the fuck is going on, but I think I like it. And yes, it was a question. Okay, so first we're with Barbara, right? And when they're in the car and the guy who's driving, we don't know his name at first. I think later we find out it's William. I was so scared he was going to be a creeper too.
Oh, and he started, and then he starts talking about like, not rape. I promise I won't rape you. Or
yeah,
that's
the first thing he said. He's like, I'm not going to rape you. And at first I was just like, okay, that's weird that you, that thank you for immediately going to rape. But but wait a minute. You know what? That's immediately where a woman's mind would go. Because that's what we think men are going to do to us. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're in the car by yourself, Donnie, and some random guy jumps in and starts driving off with you, you don't think he's going to rape you. You think he's probably going to kill you or beat you up or steal your money. Right. Like you'd never think sexual violence from another man. Every time a woman is alone with a man she doesn't know in certain situations, there's a thought in the back of her mind that this is my turn. Okay, this is, because that's just how unfortunate, rampant it is. But when he said that, I thought, oh, great, he's a creeper. But then I thought, no, that's probably what she needed to hear. But then... And then he kept talking about like his family and stuff, and I felt like, okay, I trust him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But when he asked her to check the glove box, okay, so the thing with Sun, she can understand some English, right? Because I feel like they say
he was trying to like do sign language and shit here.
Forgetting that like American Sign Language is like English.
Right.
Korean has a whole ass new different alphabet. But yeah, when he asked her to look in the glove box, like she understood, and she like if there was like a gun, and she said no, and there was like I have in my notes here, I wonder if the Korean woman lied about the gun, because I'm like, that's what I was, right? Like I would be like if there was a gun in there, I might say there wasn't, just so I'd be the only one who knows where the gun is. I don't know. But then like she notices that they're being followed. And
like somebody's like parallel to them.
And she's like probably for gas.
Which and that's because you as they're driving you see so many cars that parked at people's houses and stuff like that, and I was like, and my thought was either these people turned or they just had extra cars that they left behind. Like, why aren't they siphoning that gas?
And then the next, I love like these little like title cards that like tell you what the new situation is. So the next one is Nature Show, right? And it is Spears, Rose, Ryan, and I just call him Maps. His name is Maps or Seth Rogen, because he looks like Seth Rogen to me. They witness a mauling and a turning, and you see just how fast it happens.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I get it. Nature Show.
That's exactly what I said to myself at the end of that scene. I'm like, oh, I get it. That's clever.
And then we have Bicycle, which is cha chong ko in Korean.
This was so fucking weird to me. Like this.
What? Why? You're making my stomach hurt now because now
because it reminds me because them going through this alleyway and
first people they are wait. I just want to make sure I'm going to get this right. They have to take a detour. Well, he says they have to take a detour because the road is all fucked up, right? The guy driving, William. And then I think like they did some like maneuvering to try to get away from that car, the black car, right? Like he made a sharp turn or whatever. And he ended up going like hitting something. And so they pull over and he tells Son to get out to check to see what it is. Cause it's something like they're dragging something. All right. Now, what were you saying? Didn't make sense to you?
When they're going through the alley and then all of a sudden people start like breaking the windows, like throwing bricks and shit at them.
Oh yeah,
it was
what was that
progressed
about?
line of people just kept popping out the bushes, throwing bricks at them, and then all of a sudden you get to the end of the thing, you got a carriage, or she's throwing a Molotov cocktail, and then they go past this burning carriage that had all kinds of shit in it. Like
it was like a shopping cart.
Shopping cart, yeah.
Yeah, and it just reminded me of like when you're going through like at the end of a haunted house, like they give you the grand finale, everybody chases you. It was like it was so fucking like people. It's the fucking zombie apocalypse. And people were just throwing bricks at like I don't know.
It was. I must say it was very redneckish.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Like, get off my alley.
Yeah, I like.
Where we're holding up.
And is that what it was? That's what it was, right? It was people just basically like get off. It was like get off my yard.
Get away from it. We don't want the zombies out here. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Because I don't feel like even the guy trying to steal the minivan before, like. Mm-hmm. I just still see a bunch. Like I said before, you see a bunch of cars everywhere. Like, why does it have to be this minivan? Like, what's wrong with all these other cars?
I mean, because it clearly is got the keys in it. I mean, just because the car is sitting there, don't mean you can turn it on.
Right.
But yeah, this was so fucking stressful when Son gets out the car and my stomach hurt. And sure enough, when she gets to the back. And you could see him in the distance, like running and see her. Oh my God. And he's like, get in the car. And she stops long enough to like pull the thing out. Oh my God. And this whole thing, let me tell you how stressful this scene was. This scene was so, now Kaylee watched this episode by herself. I watched it by myself. This scene was so fucking stressful. Remember when the zombie was like on the back of the car and William was like doing short stops to like get him off? I was like, that's not how physics work. I was like, that's not going to work, William. And then when like he did something and you could clearly see the zombie like go up onto the top of the car. They didn't. And they're like, oh, where'd it go? Did we lose him? And I'm like, how do you not hear this thing on top of you?
If anything's on top of your car, you usually hear like your roof isn't that thick, and that shit usually bends and dents really
exactly. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And then so like the whole thing happens, and fucking Son is a badass because she fucking gets out of the car window to fight this thing. Just like I think she has like a knife, right?
A hammer.
That's right, his hammer. But then when it gets onto the front of the car, so the whole time I'm watching this scene, I'm sitting on the bed, legs crisscross applesauce. I'm leaning forward watching. At one point, I just start like hugging myself. When he's trying to shake that zombie, you guys, I was actually rocking forward and then moving back and then leaching forward. And then a couple of times he did it. I swear Son whacked her head on that console. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the first time he did it, I thought, oh my God, like, she's gonna die. But yeah, they finally, like, he hits it and he runs over it, right? Yeah, and they keep going. Mm-hmm. And then Barbara talks about her first zombie. Because I think, William says that was his first time seeing one that up close. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we see the others. And those are Donnie, I saw them and I thought of every ominous new group in The Walking Dead. You know what I mean? Like Terminus, the others, like on Lost. But they're creepy as fuck. And they're in this, like, I couldn't tell if it was one person. Like, I thought it was just, like, one guy. And
I could tell there was two. Someone in the passenger seat and someone in the driver's.
And they're following, and then there's, like, they lose him, right? Yeah. They lose him for a bit, and they're, like, in this alley, and this couple comes up. And they want to get in the car. And they're like, no. She's like, I'll suck your dick. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, it's like that out in these zombie streets. And they were like, no. And they kind of looked at each other and they were like, I like that they had the good sense to kind of maybe be ashamed a little bit. Like we could have let them in. But no. Would you have
they weren't even currently being chased. Like, they had already lost the car at that point.
Right. And and then, like, they were together, but notice how, like, when they were hesitating, she was like, I'll suck your dick. Fuck him. I don't know what he'll do. She was, like, ready to leave whoever the fuck he was. So, yeah. And this is where we get their names, right? And they're like, here we are, because they think they're going to the stadium. I was like, y'all don't know how this works. The next scene is Follower. Let me look at my notes. Rose, Spears, Ryan, and Maps. Oh, this was some creepy shit. So when they saw the car with they walked up on this car, and it was a woman in the passenger seat, her daughter, daughter,
she just
driver's seat. Yeah, and she was like, keep it moving. And I was like, yes, sis, yes. I was like, I don't blame you at all, sis.
But it was fucked up later on when they see that car.
Yes! Again. And it's like, this ain't funny, y'all. This is terrible. My stomach hurts. And it's just this, like, 3 niggas in the car, like these, like, fucking, this white supremacist jailhouse looking motorbike gang motherfuckers driving.
With the daughter.
And the daughter's in the back seat looking like, I'm sorry, my mother's a bitch. I would have let you in, but she had the gun. Can you please save me, Mr. Soldier Man? And they don't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
What could you do?
Nothing. Yeah, they were on foot. The car was moving. Like, you can't chase after a car.
I like how Donnie is like, you wouldn't even try to think of a plan. You would just.
It's the dog world.
Donnie is like, sorry to that girl. Oh God. So then it says last stop, and Son and Barbara are singing, and that's when you know you can't sing in the zombie apocalypse. What are you doing?
Not yet.
And that car comes back, and there's like a chase, and they're cussing, and I like how William is like, just come out, let's fight. He's like, I'll fuck you up. William's like, fuck all this vehicular manslaughter. Let's use our fisticuffs. And then William clearly says, put your seatbelt on.
He yells it.
He's like, put your seatbelt on. And even the woman who doesn't speak English put her fucking seatbelt on.
Like, I understand that word. Or she even just fucking understood, like, I know what's going on here.
I read the van, okay? I read the room. She's like, I whacked my head.
Just like a white woman not listening and shit.
She was like, I already whacked my head on this dashboard. She's like, put my fucking seatbelt on. And so I didn't realize Barbara didn't have her seatbelt on. Kaylee said she said they kept like foreshadowing it.
They did. I can see it coming from a mile away.
Because he'd had enough, and they end up crashing into like this like cinder block wall thing.
No, it was a.
Wasn't it like?
I thought it was a truck holding cinder blocks, but was it?
Oh,
they
maybe
were still
it
driving
was.
on the road. I
That's
thought it was
right.
just a truck.
That's right. That's right.
Barrier to me.
Yeah.
Was it a barrier?
Yeah, it was like those, like, you know,
Like a
those.
roadblock.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the cinder block ones. But there was something. It might have been like a flatbed truck behind it, because I remember thinking, "You're lucky you don't get decapitated." I do remember thinking there was something like flat that was like head level, but they fucking crash, and then you see how fast things turn in this universe. So like the people who died in their car turn and start, I guess, trying
they all get the fuck out because he's turning. And...
Yeah.
I think it was just the driver in the other car.
Yeah,
was it just the driver?
Yeah.
And then the son
Barbara
wakes up
too.
and she makes William, but then Barbara is just on. I'm like, what, Barbara? I was like, is that Barbara?
You didn't see her go flying out the car?
No!
You didn't see that?
No! So, like, I just see Son wakes up, and she looks around, and she looks up at the fucking through the windshield, and I was like, by myself watching this, I actually said out loud, is that Barbara?
When they crashed, you could see her body go flying out the front window.
I missed that completely.
And I'm like, oh, she's dead.
Oh, Barbara. Like, I thought Barbara was gonna last long because she got her own little title card.
Name card?
Yes! I was like, oh, these are my main people. Spears, Rose, Barbara, Ryan. I thought Maps would go before fucking Barbara.
Well, isn't Spears technically... Because Spears was the name of... Hello.
There she is.
There she is.
Oh, good. I wasn't muted. I didn't even do anything.
You just stopped talking. Like when you just start the little talk about that whole scene, that you just.
I can't even remember what I was saying.
You said Spears.
Yeah, Spears. So like that's not that guy's real name.
No, but that's what I'm calling him because I don't know who he is.
But like but Spears, the military guy, he died.
Yeah.
Even though he also got his own little title card.
Yeah. But I feel like that was like tricky because they wanted you to think.
I guess.
Yeah.
But so was it tricky with Barbara because she got her title card
right.
and she died.
So that's what I'm saying. I was shocked, and I thought like Maps, the guy with the beard, the one who left his friend. I thought he would die before anybody with a name. Whether it was a fake name or not. I was like, I don't know who he is. But wait a minute. So they run inside a wait. Fuck, I just watched this like yesterday.
What? The people who were in that black car, the truck.
They came up, followed them. They didn't. They weren't chasing.
But
They
the
were just
people
running
who were
along
in
with
the
them.
back seat, the two people in the back seat, wasn't that the couple that tried to join the other guys?
I think so.
Did you not notice that? I thought I recognized them. I'm like, oh, that's the two people who tried to join Barbara and them.
Yeah,
No, not Barbara. It would have been because Barbara was with this.
Yeah,
this
no,
lady
it was Barbara, wasn't it?
Barbara, William, and Son.
Yeah.
It was the couple that came up with them.
Yes.
Oh, that
yes.
the blowjob.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
So wait a minute.
So I assume that's the same couple.
You gotta guess somebody in that truck got a blowjob.
Hold on a second. So wait a second. Right, because they were running from, and they thought they were hiding from the black pickup truck, right? And they were in that alley catching their breath. And then that couple ran up, and they were clearly running from what I thought were already zombies.
Well, we also saw the zombie that was chasing
Right?
them.
It was a zombie,
They
right?
were-
Okay. And then they ran off, and we didn't see what happened to them. So we're assuming that the black car rescued them or kidnapped them. Depends on how you look at it. I mean, I want you to rescue me, but I don't want to go with you, psychopath. I don't know what the situation is. I did not realize it's the same couple. Holy shit. So, like, now what do you think they were thinking when this black car, they get in this guy's car and he starts harassing crashing this other car. You think they were like, yeah, fuck them. I offered to suck his dick and they wouldn't let me in. Did they pull a Irwin Smith where it's like, charge, advance? Like, what the fuck? Or did they say, oh, you know what? You can just let me out. Can you just let me out the next corner? I'll take my chance with the zombies. But this is awkward as fuck.
Because now they're all in the same building.
Except the driver. So we'll never know why he was such a twat. It depends. It depends on what happened when that couple got in. So, but wait a minute. His friend in the passenger seat, right? He's alive too. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's those three and then Son and William.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awkward as fuck. All right. I'm going to pull up the feedback. Wow. I really like this show. I'm surprised how much I like it.
I like series that have like branching storylines that are all connected somehow. That's why I really like Do-Da-Da-Da, which I think we should watch more of. She's ignoring me.
No, I'm trying to find the Why are you so... You're just so mean.
Also, I want to point out my little picture. That's not an umbrella. That's her hat. It's on her hat.
Alright, hold on. Oh, why do I do this? When I mark the feedback with those stars. Okay. Oh, she's ahead. That's Black Summer episode 6. That's episode 4. Y'all are so ahead.
They ain't wait for us.
Peyton says, I love Black Summer. Them zombies were fast as fuck. They were some Usain Bolt zombies. Yeah, y'all didn't tell me it was fast zombies. I don't know how I feel about that.
I didn't know there'd be zombies at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's true.
I can't believe I was tricked into watching a zombie show.
I'm sorry. All right. Kimberly says, for season 1, episode 1, hello, Nina and Donnie, and possibly Kaylee. Even Kimberly knew you'd be here before you knew you'd be here. Okay. I am not a zombie person. Oh my God. Look at Did you get tricked too? Did we trick you too, Kimberly? I always found the concept silly, but I'm giving Black Summer a chance because I love Train to Busan and Kingdom. Yeah. And Rod from the Black Eye Who Tips said this was great. Also, this year and a half of COVID and the reactions of the imbeciles of the world have convinced me that the Z-Poc really can happen. And here I used to think the behaviors of the people on The Walking Dead was ridiculous. I like the character setup. We didn't necessarily get what set off the zombie apocalypse, but we got to see how some of the featured players got to be where we will see them as the show progresses. So many blink and you'll miss it moments. Yeah, seriously. Because again,
when Barbara flew out the front window.
She old enough to know, but I don't understand watching. And it's so funny because, like I said, Kaylee watched this episode a little while ago, and then I get a message from her in the family group chat, and she says, "Wait, where is it? Hold on." Oh, why don't I have it here? Oh, did you send it to me?
No, it's in the group chat.
Oh, I don't see it.
Just keep scrolling.
Oh, you know what? I forgot how long ago that was. Okay. Kaylee goes, why didn't Barbara put on her dang seatbelt on? First of all, you don't even cuss, so the fact that you said dang is adorable. And you had it all in caps. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck was up with her. She says, it does look like dying in general and not bites caused the change, and it appears that only headshots stop these zombies. Yeah, right? They did show that. Okay, and for episode 2, she says, I love the Asian woman who does not speak English. It's amazing how people can learn to communicate with one another when they have to. And by the way, she is Korean, and there was something else she said. I was trying to like make note of stuff that she said that
you understood.
And
I noticed she kept calling William Ajushi.
Yeah. That's right. She called him Ajushi, and which is like what you call like an older dude, like a middle-aged man.
Mm-hmm.
And then I cannot remember which one it is, but I think it's Chokuro. Like when you're talking about direction. So when she was telling him to turn left or right or whatever it was, but I always get left and right mixed up. But I knew she was telling him a direction, so I was like, yeah, listen to her. Yeah, so she says, the ability of people to be the absolute worst, even as the world crumbles around us, never ceases to amaze me. Poor Barbara. I mean, like, we see it here with less, and people are just terrible. Poor Barbara. And my thought when all that nonsense with the black truck started was, girl, you better put your seatbelt on. I guess I'm the only one who just didn't get it. Okay. I'll own it. All right. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. If you are a time traveler, you can now listen to us talk about episodes 3 and 4. That will be available for you today. Everyone else will talk to you next week with our thoughts on Black Summer episodes 3 and 4. We have other stuff coming up. I am Kaylee. Oh my God, Kaylee and I are. I'm almost done with Beyond Evil, which is the current K-drama, but the next one is Signal, which we started to cover before. Kaylee, I'm so excited because I tweeted about it and so many people were like, it's one of the best ones I've seen. One woman was like, I've already watched it like 4 times. I'm like, wow, okay. So that's also on Netflix if you want to join us for that. And of course, we'll be back with a lot more Attack on Titan. We're in season, oh, well, wait a minute. By the time you guys are listening, it's season 2, but we're like in season 3 now, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first 2 or 3. So, but anyway, lots of good stuff coming up. Thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you next time. You guys got to learn to say goodbye to people.
Oh, goodbye.
Bye.
Jesus Christ.